Hey guys, welcome to my next declutter video. In this one, we are going to be covering all of my blushes. This is a lot of blush, let me just tell you. You don't need this many. No one person needs this many blush because it takes forever to go through blushes. But yeah, I'm gonna go through them, talk about them, and declutter. Hopefully a good amount. So let's just get started. This first one is a drugstore one. It's by Physicians Formula and it is one of their butter blushes in the shade Vintage Rouge. I have used this blush somewhat. I don't grab for it a ton, but I also do have a lot of blush. It definitely has the same smell as the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula, so if that smell bothers you, this has the same scent. And the pigmentation is pretty good with this blush. This actually does give off quite a big bit of pigment. It's a nice rosy blush. It's not anything, you know, out of the ordinary or something you haven't seen before. But if you like the formula of these, I would recommend it. So I will be keeping this one. It is a good drugstore option. This is a newer blush to my collection. It is from the new L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted collection. And these blushes smell of peach, which I think is fantastic. So it's kind of going along the lines of like the sweet peach scent that Too Faced has put out. I'm pretty sure that this is the second shade. I think there are three, one lighter than this and one darker than this. The smell is very, I wouldn't say faint, but it's not pungent at all like the Physicians Formula products. So if scent bothers you, I don't know if it would. But it definitely does smell somewhat of peach, but you have to really get your nose up to it. It's a beautiful, more orange shade blush on me. In my collection, that is one of my favorites. So I will be keeping this one, and it is quite new to my collection as well. This is a very cheap option from the drugstore. It's from Wet n Wild, and it is in the color Rosé Champagne. This is sort of similar to that L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted blush that we just looked at. But I feel like this one is more buildable, whereas that one has more pigment. So what I mean by that is you can dip your brush into this and not have to worry about it being too pigmented and turning out looking like a clown. And I like that about it. And it is a cheap option at the drugstore that, you know, is affordable. If you like the color of that L'Oreal one, this one is not a dupe. I think this one's more muted than that one is, but it's definitely a good option, and I will be keeping this one as well. Then right here, I have my 3-box blushes from Benefit. I have Dallas. This is a more muted blush color. It can almost be used on some people as a bronzer, just a very rosy tone bronzer. So if you can see right there, it's a very plummy kind of blush. So some people do use it as bronzer. I don't use it that way. I don't like how it looks on me personally, but I really do love the color of this. It's unique to me because a lot of colors I have are more corally, and this one is more of a muted, like plummy shade. So I really like this one in the fall. It does have somewhat of a sheen. It's not completely matte either. So I will be keeping that one. Next, I have Rocketeur from Benefit. This is more of a rosy toned blush. But it does have a lot of sheen to it. So if you're not a fan of glowy blushes, I don't know if this would work for you. It's just like a very bright rosy color, and it has this kind of, not a shift, but just that glow to it, and it's beautiful, and I haven't used this in a while. And I think it's because I have so much blush. This is a really beautiful blush, and I will be keeping this one as well. This one is more heavily scented than Dallas is, so again, if you have fragrance sensitivity, I don't know how well it would work for you. Then I have Coralista from Benefit, and this is one that I have a sentimental attachment to because it's the first high-end blush that I ever bought. Just kind of weird to say about a makeup product, I guess. So the name fits it very well because it is a coral blush, and when I first got it, it just gave that natural blushed look to the face, but now the pigment is just not there anymore. It still smells good and it still smells okay, but because the pigment has diminished over time, I'm just not reaching for it. I'm not loving it like I used to. So unfortunately, I'm going to declutter this one, but I would definitely recommend it. Right here, I have one of the Becca split pans that came out with the Jaclyn Hill collection, I believe. So it's one of the champagne splits, and it has the Pomplamoose blush and the Prosseco Pop highlighter. I bought this when I was really in love with Champagne Pop. I still am. That's still one of my favorite all-time highlighters, and I actually finished one up completely, which is crazy to even think about. Well, now I have Prosecco Pop in a full size that I got from BoxyCharm. I don't need that half anymore. And then the blush is very pigmented, so it's harder to use. So I don't feel like I'm reaching for it at all anymore. And it's not something unique at all. So I'm gonna declutter it and give it to someone who would appreciate it more. This is a Ciate blush in Date Night. I had never tried anything from Ciate before I tried this blush, but it is beautiful. As you can tell, there's like a luminescent side marbled in with like the blush color, and it just gives a very really, really glowy blush look. It's more mauve than it is coral or pink or anything like that. And I love the glow that it gives. I love anything that will give me glow. So I'm going to keep this one. I think it's very beautiful. And if you like glowy blushes, I would suggest it. This is a NYX Mosaic blush in the color Dare. I don't know if they still sell these. Obviously, it has like a mosaic pattern and it has different colors in different parts of the pan. So you can pick it up in certain areas, but I would just swirl it around into all the colors, and I got kind of the same effect that you would get when you use Orgasm from NARS. But this is just more of a powdery formula than the NARS one is. For that reason, I stopped reaching for it and found the NARS one to work better for me. If they still sell these, this would be a good, affordable option for you if you're looking for that kind of effect. But for me personally, I don't need it anymore, so I'm going to declutter it. This is the NARS Duo that I got from Sephora, and it has both the bronzer Laguna and the blush Orgasm in it. I really do love both of these products, and one summer I actually only used this, and I still haven't hit pan on it. So these do go a very long way. The bronzer is very nice, it's not overpowering, and the blush is also very beautiful. It's, vibrant pink, but not being overly vibrant, and has that gold like sheen in there. I am keeping this. Then also from NARS, I have this mini in Deep Throat that I got in a set last Christmas. Now, Deep Throat is more of a matte blush, and it's also deeper than Orgasm is, but blended out on the cheeks is really beautiful. So I'm glad I got this set, because I got to try out this blush from them as well for a much, much lower price. So that's a tip I would give, is to buy minis because they will last a long time. So I will be keeping this one as well. I have two of the Milani Baked blushes. I have this one in number 2 called Rose d'Oro. Out of the two Milani ones I have, this is definitely a deeper one. When swatched, it looks kind of crazy, and in the pan it's kind of crazy as well if you have a light or fair complexion. But once you blend it out on the skin, it is actually a very natural blush. It's not too pink, it's not too like mauve, it's just kind of like a nude blush. And I really do like this sheared out on the cheeks, so I will be keeping this one. And the second one I have is in 05 Luminoso. And this is the one that gets talked about the most on YouTube. So it is quite well known. This one is, more tame color than the other one was. It is one of those blushes that goes onto the skin very natural looking, as if you would have a natural flush from being warm or blushing. So I get why this one has a lot of hype, and I have used this one quite a bit, and I am going to keep this one. Here I have two Tarte blushes. The first one you might remember from the Sephora birthday gift last year. So it is in the color Party, or at least that's how I say it. This blush is more of a pinky blush, on me. It's a light baby pink on the cheeks. It's not a blush you can overdo, really, in my opinion. So I really like this blush, and I will be keeping this one. The Tarte formula is also very easy to work with. The other blush I have is called Sensual. It's very natural on the face. I will say that. It's very, you know, pigmented, but not overly so. And if you have like a really intense eye or something like that, it's really good. Or if you're just going for natural makeup, it's also really good. So it's very versatile. I really do love this blush, as you can maybe tell by how much the imprint is worn away. And I have one Lorac blush, and it's in the color Tinge. I liked this blush when I got it, and I thought it was going to be a good idea because for some reason, I feel like my skin tone in my mind is a lot lighter than it actually is. Now, this blush is similar to Party from Tarte, but this one goes onto the skin, you know, very light. And then when it's blended out, it kind of looks odd on me, on my skin tone. This one just doesn't work for me, so I'm gonna have to declutter it, but the formula isn't bad, so I will say that. Now, this is my one full-size Hourglass blush, and it is in the color Mood Exposure. Now, this packaging is beautiful. The color of the blush is beautiful. It kind of has that powder in there that's kind of luminescent, but it's mixed in with like a plummy mauve color. And I'm trying not to blind you. I really do love this blush. It's more of a winter blush for me. I feel like it's really neutral, but it really looks good in like the wintry months. I really do like this blush, and actually it makes me want to try more blushes from Hourglass, but it's very expensive. These are very, very high priced, so go swatch it in Sephora or whatever, but I will be keeping this one. I have two Becca blushes. The outer packaging is the same as the highlighters or bronzers. Just looks like a little flying saucer. This one is in the color Snapdragon. Just a really bright, beautiful, but luminescent coral color. And I really like this. But the thing about these is you have to be very careful. You have to pick these up with a very wispy brush because of the high pigmentation. But once you blend it out, it looks so beautiful on the skin. So I will be keeping that. And the second one I have is called Tiger Lily. And this is just like a beautiful, it's more of an orangey coral than Snapdragon is. Snapdragon is more pink. This has more of an orange undertone. I'm going to be keeping this one as well. I have one MAC blush, and it is in the color Peaches. I had to have it. And this one's easy to describe. It is a matte peach blush. And I really do like the effect that I get when I wear this blush. It kind of reminds me of Luminoso, but this one is not anywhere near as glowy as Luminoso is. I will be keeping this one. This is a Hikari blush that I believe I got in an Ipsy, and it's in the color Tango. Tango kind of reminds me of like an orange color, but it's definitely not orange. It's actually a very pink blush, and it's also matte. I just don't find myself reaching for this. Not that it's terrible, but this is not the kind of cheek vibes that I like. It doesn't work for me, so I'm declutter that one. I'm also going to be decluttering this one from City Color for the same reason as I'm decluttering the Hikari blush. I don't reach for it. It's a very bright pink matte color. It's pretty much a dupe of each other, to be honest. It's in the color Fresh Melon, pretty much identical to that Hikari one. And I think I got this one in Ipsy too. I don't really think it's that easy to work with. It's affordable, so if you like these types of blushes, you might like it, but for me, I don't use it. Then this blush from Pretty Vulgar is like a hot orchid kind of color. It's in the color Make Me Blush. Make Them Blush. Aha. I think this is a beautiful blush, but it just doesn't work on my skin tone. Every time I've worn it, it just looks crazy. And I know these type of like purpley, orchidy colored blushes can work on fair skin tones, but this is just too pigmented and it doesn't blend out that well. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to declutter this one as well. Finally, I have my blush trio that I got off of Glambot. It's in the color Peach Love, and it has a more mauve color, a more corally color, and then like a bright orangey kind of color. I love this. I'll mix them together. I'll use them separately. It's good any way I use it. And I will be keeping this one. This is my keep pile. This is my declutter pile. Now, I could have probably done better, but I'm still proud that I'm getting out things that I'm not using, don't like, and can pass them on to other people who will. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more and turn on post notifications so you can be notified for all of our new videos. See you next time. Bye!